Setting themselves up for an appearance later in the show. What a big show it is. A lot on there.
Huge.
Yeah. Did you just change into...
I did. I was still laughing about that.
I thought you were a little worn underneath.
I got big real quick, didn't I?
You certainly did. And
I'm worn
so
out.
this week has been one hell of a week for Mr. Meldrum. He has had a world exclusive interviewing Michael Jackson. No one else in the world could get an interview with Michael. There were certain restrictions. We'll ask Molly about that. So let's bring him out here. The man in the hat. I was going to say Michael Jackson. The man in the hat, Molly Meldrum. So, what an exciting week. Are you a bit frazzled?
I wouldn't say it was exciting. I would say it was more frightening week.
A frightening week.
Well, after Hey Hey last Saturday, it all sort of started. And Hey Hey had to extend for that 10 minutes while we're trying to get the link in Sydney. And then, of course, it didn't happen, and we all looked pretty stupid because a lot of people thought maybe we were hoaxing it, but we weren't.
No, it was a genuine power failure.
Power failure. And I was hoping at 9:30 it'd all go away and we'd be able to relax, and it became the nightmare of trying to get it again. Anyhow.
Well, it's all right. Nobody can notice those saddlebags under your eyes, Mr. Meldrum.
You went on, it was Tuesday, didn't you?
Tuesday we went to Brisbane and we went to the concert, but before the concert, Michael did this interview. I must explain, with this interview, there are major restrictions. It's not the way I normally do an interview because you have to submit the questions and they have to vet them. Yeah. And if you basically ask another question, they'll stop the interview and literally take the tape. That's happened before, and I'll explain later how it happened to Prince with us in Japan.
Should I leave the booth?
Sorry?
Should I leave the booth then?
No.
The interview has been recorded.
No, I mean, it's pretty frightening. The only other time I've ever had to do that with submitting questions was way back when I interviewed Prince Charles.
Yes, that's right.
And I made a disaster of that interview because I called...
Was that on the countdown?
Yeah, on the countdown days.
I didn't understand a word the silly man was saying, that's why.
Oh, he's on the phone.
I didn't understand a word you were saying, Bobby.
No, I called... I did call him Lovey, that's right. I called Prince Charles Lovey as well. And I called his mum a queen. No, it's Queen of Mum. I called the...
It doesn't really matter, but I know that you're telling me that you had... this didn't happen to you last time around, but when you interviewed Prince recently...
Prince, as in Prince, yes.
As in Prince, the artist formerly known as Thing,
Prince.
And all that, you were possibly weren't going to be able to look at him. That was something that he's had in his interview things
when
before.
He was here? Yeah. No, well, way back, the artist formerly known as Prince, when he was known as Prince then,
yes.
He wouldn't let people look at him.
Oh, God, if only we could get that in your contract.
He wouldn't let... See, he wouldn't let...
Leave me alone this morning, John.
He wouldn't let this morning...
Hang on! Just now.
Just stand back here one second.
Daryl.
Molly Meldrum is coming on.
Yeah.
It's almost 7:30 in the evening. We are live, and he has flown back from overseas somewhere and thinks it's morning. Here's Molly.
Daryl, I can explain that Molly and I were having our photographs taken while we were dressing up in ladies' clothes this morning.
You were doing a photo shoot for Cinderella.
Oh, that's right.
Right, Cinderella, the pantomime. Right.
And what a tragic-looking cast that is, I tell you right now.
We'll find out on
Willie.
the 20th of December at the Palais. We'll find out.
But
Molly Meldrum continues.
So anyhow, there were restrictions, and you'll see in the interview, we're showing part of this interview, about 6 minutes of it. But at the end, I tried to do a tagline for you, Daryl, and I sort of said we'd finish the question. So I said, oh, incidentally, there's one more question I'd like to ask, and I heard everyone go like that, and I said it's a very personal question, but you'll see that later in the interview. So shall we have a look at Michael Jackson in the interview? Well, Michael, finally I can say welcome to Australia, and whether you like it or not, being the king of pop and the biggest recording star in the world, what is your philosophy of staying at the top?
Well, I think being humble and believing in yourself and having true love in your heart for the world and really trying to help people through lyrics and the love of music and dance, because I truly do love people very much.
Realising that, but does it not put pressure on you? I mean, that you have to be...
Well, it always...
hold you in such esteem, right?
It always does. The next album has to be better than the other.
Well, how do you cope with all the hysteria? I mean, wherever you go, whether it's London, whether it's Munich, whether it's New York, whether it's Bangkok, whether it's Japan, and even here in Australia, how do you cope with the hysteria?
I know it's all love, so it makes my heart very happy, and I like to give it back, to however I can give. And it puts a smile on my face to see all the children and all the teenagers and the adults, the demographics. It makes my heart very, very happy. I love them. I love all the fans very much.
Well, coping with the hysteria, I mean, I can't cope with it. I mean, watching all of this going on around, I mean, the press have been absolutely manic. It's been manic mania. Can I ask you, do you ever relax? Does Michael Jackson ever relax? Because I know you're a workaholic.
Yes, I am a workaholic. I don't relax, really. I don't sleep a lot. I like to continually, my mind never stops. I'm always creating. I never stop. But I love a good water balloon fight or, playing around, goofing off, Nintendo games, arcades.
Mm-hmm. Now, Michael, I have to ask you this question. Being possibly the biggest profile in the world, I guess Princess Diana matches you. You read all these amazing stories about Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't know whether they're true or not. You read that Michael Jackson's a weirdo. You read that Michael Jackson's bizarre. You read that he's done this, he's done that. Now, I know some of those stories are not true because, I mean, even I was accused of being at your wedding and I knew that wasn't true. But how do you cope? How do you feel about all the stories that are written about you?
It's very sad. I just want the fans to know and to understand that it's not the truth. 99.9% of it is not the truth. And don't read it, don't believe it, it's garbage. It's tabloid junk. I mean, they just simply make it up for greed and money. So please don't listen to it.
Right.
It's trash.
All right, now, there's one more question I've got to ask you. This is about a personal friend of yours, but I have got to ask you this question. I am a Stephen King fanatic. I have every book that possibly Stephen King has written.
Yeah.
You can say, mind your own business.
No.
And I know you've done Ghost with him, and I think that's a sensational piece of work.
Thank you.
I mean, did you enjoy doing that?
Very much, yes,
Yeah?
yes.
I mean, that skeleton, I mean, that blew me right out. You know?
Were you there at the premiere?
No, but I've seen it at home, you know?
Oh.
It's just amazing. Can I ask you, what is Stephen King like?
Stephen King is a very gentle, sweet, kind man. I mean, the profile that we see in the books and in his works, and he's nothing like that. He's very humble. A lot of people try to judge me the same way, but I'm pretty simple. I love to create. I love to make magic. I love to create the unexpected, And Stephen, he's just wonderful. He's not bizarre or strange or weird. He's a loving person.
And great to work with.
Great to work with. He and I wrote Ghosts, and we had fun doing it.
All right, now listen, I never normally ask for autographs, but this is a Stephen King book, and it's called Insomnia, and I'm sure that over the last week I've had no sleep thinking about the Michael Jackson thing. Can you please sign this book
Sure.
Of Stephen King's for me?
Sure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Molly.
Australia.
Thank you.
And we look forward to more work from Michael Jackson, more records,
Thank you.
and being the biggest star, if they're not the biggest star in the world, and entertaining
you.
everyone.
All my love to everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I must say, I mean, like, he really, when you talk to him like that, he really is a very, very nice guy. And a lot of our crew went to his concert in Melbourne last night. Pam and David, Georgina, and I'll let them tell you because, I mean, there's no sense me saying it. What did you think of the show?
It was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Joe, Beth and I are going tomorrow night. We're looking forward to that. Yes, yeah.
It truly is a master, and it's a fantastic show.
It's at the MCG tomorrow night.
MCG
Terrific.
tomorrow night. Yeah.
I'm taking the footy. All right. You're going to have a
Right,
kick
now-
at half time, yeah.
Just before we go, I'm really, as I said about Prince before. Prince, about 3 weeks ago, all the media flew to Japan.
Yeah.
And he was going to do what we call electronic media, in other words, talk to radio and to television. And a guy from Channel V from Asia was the first one up and asked a personal question. He stopped. And then Keith Williams from 2Day FM came in and he didn't like the sound of his voice, stopped everything, seized Keith Williams' tape, and since then refuses and will not do any more electronic media.
Oh, thanks, Keith Williams.
Yeah, I know. No, it was not Keith's fault.
Oh,
Not Keith's fault at
that's
all.
right then.
So anyhow, then I was called back and he said he'd do a press interview. That is actually in TV Week this coming Monday, along with the story of Hey Hey and everything that's gone on with the whole bizarre thing with Michael Jackson. Anyway, listen, it's been, as I say, a pleasure. Let's have a look now, though, a sneak preview of Prince, his new single off the Emancipation album, and it's called Betcha. By golly, now.
You're the one that I've been waiting for forever. Now with my love for you, keep growing strong, keep growing strong.
Money in that one.
Absolutely. So there it is, Prince and Michael Jackson. And as I say, if you haven't had the chance, and certainly Perth and Adelaide, because he's coming there with Michael Jackson, do yourself a favour because it truly is a fantastic show.
Well
And
done.
I'm going to bed now,
Well done.
and I'm having a nervous break.
Okay. Yeah, it's morning. We may as well go to bed. Molly's melodrama.